It all began as an ordinary day in September. An ordinary day in Raccoon City. A city controlled by Umbrella. No one dared to oppose them, and that lack of strength would ultimately lead to their destruction. I suppose they had to suffer the consequences of their actions, but there would be no forgiveness. If only they had had the courage to fight. It's true that once the wheels of justice begin to turn, nothing can stop them. Nothing. It was Raccoon City's last chance, and my last chance. My last escape.
This is Chopper Delta, preparing to drop off at area E95070. Over.
What are they?
Welcome to this impromptu walkthrough of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. This game was released in 1999. We're going to be doing hard mode. So as Jill in hard mode, you start out with the pistol. The first thing you want to do is gun down this zombie. He can be a particularly difficult dodge to do. There is a dodge mechanic in this game. This is the only Resident Evil of the classics that has this mechanic.
September 28th, daylight. The monsters have overtaken the city. Somehow, I'm still alive. Okay, we've got to get out of here.
What? What do you think you're talking about? I just lost my daughter out there! How dare you tell me to go back outside?
I'm sorry about your daughter, but there isn't gonna be any rescue. We have to get out of here!
No! I'm not going anywhere! I'd rather starve to death in here than be eaten by one of those undead monsters! Now leave me alone!
So the first thing you want to do is go to this back corner and pick up some handgun ammo. There is a first aid spray on the the box that you just passed. It's a bit easier to see from the distance there. Now, you may notice that this game looks particularly good for coming out in 1999. This is being played on Dolphin emulator with the Seamless HD project. Big props to the team who did this. This is done by users Mo Artis, KL, Saeed, and Frank Wesker. This is an amazingly done mod. It looks absolutely gorgeous. The art direction and layouts and everything are crisp and clear, and I just can't say enough about how great this mod is. It just looks so great to be able to play this in full resolution. The only thing that they haven't done is update the texture quality on the inventory boxes. They did have a bit of an update to this. Remember when I played this about a year ago, but then what would happen is the items would disappear when they were placed in the inventory. They'd still be there to be selected, but the icons would just disappear, and it would be difficult just to remember where things were. This is a great solution. It doesn't detract from the game at all. What prompted this kind of spontaneous walkthrough is I'm just really excited for Resident Evil 3 Remake to be released on Friday, and just thought I'd relive the classic game one more time. It's been a long time since I've played the game, and usually for my walkthroughs I tend to like to play through the game a couple times, get an okay route enough so that I'm comfortable with where I'm going, but enough spontaneity to allow like adaptations on the fly and just for me to be engaged. This one's a bit different. I am kind of basing myself off memory from like a long time ago, so I just kind of try to do my best and just give you guys advice like I usually do. So this path is a fork that goes along the different sides. What you want to do is probably go straight north and go through this door. So the best thing to do after these zombies kind of bust through the door is just to reset the room. This greatly spaces out where the zombies are going to be and allows you to kind of maneuver around it. I had a pretty rough start just kind of getting used to the mechanics. One of the gameplay changes with Resident Evil 3 is you'll notice that Jill is just very responsive. The tank controls in this game just seem great. She's really fast. Seems like she can turn and dodge almost about anything, which is great. I play extremely conservative in the first part of the game. I end up just tanking a whole bunch of damage, which is probably not wise. I should have used more handgun ammo now that I'm reflecting upon 2/3 of the way through this playthrough while doing this commentary. But use your handgun ammo to down those guys. It is easier to just get the shotgun. You do need the lighter fuel. You need to combine it to the lighter to get it. So because of my ineptitude, I end up getting in a really bad jam here on the stairs, just getting sandwiched between these two guys. What you saw there is one of the dodge mechanics for Resident Evil 3. If you press the arm action, that's the action to raise your weapon. When like a hitbox is coming in, you tend to do a quick dodge. This could either be a shove that pushes the zombie backwards, or it could be a dodge to the left or the right, or a roll. But it's kind of wonky and I would say difficult to use. I try to not use it purposefully because I'm just not confident in the timing for all the enemies in this game. So you want to dodge around this guy. This street is not too bad. You have to come through it twice. Just take your time. This is when I really started to remember just how easy it is to dodge with Jill. The zombies have not the best turning radius, but they can swarm you. One of the difficulties with this game, I would say, is that if you ever pause to shoot a zombie, the likelihood that 4 more will spawn right in front of you and impede your progress is very high. So keep at a distance, only shoot if you have to, but keep running. You'll also see these zombies go into this thing called turbo mode, to coin a term from speedrunning. This is when they just start running at you like non-stop, and this can be a bit difficult to deal with when the guns fire a bit slow in this game. So just be aware of whenever that happens.
Get away!
There's no reason to waste your ammo here. Brad downs that zombie. He has infinite ammo. Go around to the cashier and pick up the handgun bullets.
Brad, hang in there. Why isn't someone doing something about this?
I didn't know you were still alive, Jill. The police aren't trained for this kind of situation. What could they do? Listen, he's coming for us. We're both gonna die.
What are you saying?
You'll see. He's after STARS members. There's no escape.
So you want to grab the lighter and combine it with the fuel. This will allow us to progress and get to the police station. Now, we are doing this on hard mode. There are two modes in Resident Evil. There's easy and hard. Easy is just really kind of a bizarre mode, in my opinion. It starts you out with a whole host of weapons. There's a zombie just turboing right there. You can kind of see him just charging and have a little bit of better tracking on you. There are green herbs up there, but I just didn't want to have the zombies get stuck on my platform, and I ended up just skipping them altogether. But if you're fast, I recommend picking them up on the first time through if you need a bit of extra health. So you do not want to follow what I do here. I end up going down here, and this is a way back to the beginning where we're in that alley with the zombie. You can see me check my map just to double check to make sure I know exactly where I am, and I realized I just needed to get back into the right spot. So don't follow my lead and go of the Y directions. You want to go to the one that's to the right on that topmost angle. So a note about using animations to your advantage. One of the things you can do is when they kind of stagger backwards, if you shoot them again while in that stagger, they'll fall down. This is just a really easy way to get past them. Like most Resident Evil games, the enemies are pretty bullet spongy, so it's best to still just conserve ammo. What I ended up doing right there is setting the auto aim to be active instead of inactive. This is something that I feel is just helpful. It's not the best when you're trying to shoot a barrel with the handgun, as it seems to lock on to the zombies. However, especially for the infamous Clock Tower Nemesis fight, which we're going to get to, I just find it very invaluable to have Jill just quickly turn around and automatically lock on to the enemy that's needed. I decided to go for the red herbs here, which was a complete mistake. Do not follow my lead. There's generally a lot of healing items scattered around, even for hard mode I found. But what I end up doing is whenever I need them, I find a green one and I use that instead of waiting to combine it with a red. Inventory space is a bit limited in this part of the game. You're gonna get a pack at about, I wouldn't say the specific time, but when you get to the cable car, you get a pack that opens up 2 additional inventory slots, and this makes things a lot more flexible. Run in a kind of zipper zigzag motion to dodge the dogs. I missed that door completely the first time and just now got it. This is one of the save rooms. You're gonna come back and get the fire hose to extinguish that to get into like kind of a pharmacy. This is also a new mechanic called gunpowder. There's 3 types of gunpowders in the game. There's A, B, and C. C is made from combining A and B, and A's and B's can be stacked together upwards of 3. So A plus B equals C, 2 A's equals a double A, a triple A. You can have a double A plus a B. I'm going to link all the various combinations that you can make in the description just for quick reference. So what you saw there was an example of kind of the quick actions in this game. There's going to be various points throughout your adventure where you're going to be presented with two choices to make, and you have to either go with one or the other. It's important to note that none of the choices will outright just kill you automatically. They just open up various pathways to just increase replayability and just have different scenarios. Only one of them directly impacts the ending of the game, and we're going to be getting that best ending. So usually what you do is, even if you choose to, if you just don't want to fight Nemesis, you still usually pick the stars card off of Brad to be able to get the code on this computer right away. I was just kind of being spontaneous with this run. I know I just didn't want to fight Nemesis. I'm going to do a Nemesis complete walkthrough probably in another year, but I just wanted to get this run out this week. So what I end up doing is just taking the long way and getting Jill's stars badge. This room can have different layouts. We have a mob of zombies coming out of the main office. This is a good pattern just because it leaves the side open the entire time. We're about to enter this hallway. I find it good to just clear all the zombies in this hallway, just because you're going to be coming back through it a couple times. Especially with getting the stars card, you kind of have to make an extra run through this hallway. Also to note that Resident Evil 3 is the first one that has female zombies of the series. So if you grabbed Brad's card off his dead body before entering the police station, you do not have to go down this route. What I need to do is go to the STARS main hall and pick up Jill's. You're going to see me go back to the main hall, enter it into the computer to get the code for the safe. The code changes every single time on the playthrough. I believe there's 4 different combinations. But it's needed to progress the story because you need to get a gem that will allow you to access the next area of the game. Shades of Resident Evil 2, I was just seeing if you could light the fire like you do in the other game just to see if something would happen, but nothing does. So, correction, you need the lock, the numpad lock to get the STARS key to get into the office upstairs. This will get you the lockpick. The lockpick is needed to progress to the next part of the story. This guy can be easily dodged, or he can just be a pain in the butt. I think I end up dodging him twice, but we're about to go into, of course, the dark room save room. So because it had been so long, I forgot that you don't need the stars card anymore, and you can put it in to the item chest. Jill is so swift in this game. I think I tried to go around to his left side there, but due to that camera angle, I just ended up almost running straight into him. This guide is somewhat unreliable in the sense that Resident Evil 3 has a lot of different variations from room to room. Per playthrough, there's going to be some times when there's going to be gunpowders, there's going to be some times when there's going to be different zombie layouts. So if you are using this as kind of a base guide, just bear in mind that there are inconsistencies between what you're going to see on screen and what you will experience. So in this office, you're going to pick up the lockpick from your desk, and you're also going to pick up one of the two primary kind of big weapons in the game. You're either going to get the grenade launcher or the shotgun. Excuse me. You're either going to get the grenade launcher. You're either going to get the grenade launcher or the Magnum. And it doesn't matter which one you get here because, in my opinion, unless you're doing a Nemesis % run where you're trying to get him every single time he appears, you're not going to use either of those weapons until much later in the game when it comes to actually when you're forced to fight him. Grab the handgun bullets off the desk. Having 30 is just another great one.
No! Come get one! Our platoon is cut off! No survivors found! This is Carlos! Send in support immediately!
Now that we have the lockpick, Nemesis is going to bust through the window at the bottom of the stairs. This is your second opportunity to fight him. There is a way you can cheese him by getting him stuck inside of Marvin's office in the main police room, but we're avoiding Nemesis fights when we can for this walkthrough. Just shaking off the rust for me.
Stars.
So unlike Mr. X in the original Resident Evil 2, Nemesis follows you all over the place in this game. His encounters are scripted in the sense that there's going to be points where he shows up and he's active on the map for a period of time and will follow you through different doors. But for the most part, he doesn't just pop up randomly. He usually comes after significant item drops or just pre-planned sequences. It's important to note that, as you might have saw, he runs very fast. He's really quick, and his running speed is actually faster than your caution run. Jill's has several different kind of stances in this game. She has a normal one, a caution, there's a danger limp, and there's also a kind of crawl that you get if you get poisoned and you get on a really low health. Poison crawl, you're basically dead. You're just waiting for something to hit you. But for the most part, you want to keep her healthy because her mobility is the highest there. Unlike caution and say some of the other Resident Evils where it's not too big of a hindrance, it is a big one in Resident Evil 3. Pick off the ammo off the dead person there. Those drain Deimos that you saw will not come down until you return to this area. Got a little tripped up of where I should go here. Ended up just running in a complete circle. You want to go to the right. If you go to the left, it's actually an exit. It's a dead end, but it's an exit to an alternate pathway that happens after you get the fuel mixture for the cable car. These dogs are pretty easy dodge, and this is your second major save room. I think I was debating whether I wanted more handgun ammo, but I decided to just go for it. I had 97, and I thought that using the gunpowder a bit later would have just been a better use of time. Got tripped up on the beams there. There are several parts of the environment in this game can be a bit misleading. It seems like you might be able to run past something or in order to just progress, but sometimes it seems like things stick out farther than they initially planned. Run past them on the left-hand side and go straight to this door. So there's actually several routes you can take here. I'm going to go through the arcade shop E and actually meet Carlos for the first time in the press, which is, I think, a bit of a harder path compared to meeting him in the restaurant. There's a fork here, and depending on which one you take as the first encounter with Carlos, it also determines the location of the green gem that you need to complete the gate to get out of the city. So because that alleyway is narrow, I do suggest using your handgun ammo. I had so much to spare. I had over 100 shots. Now what you want to do is actually go through that door on the right hand side. That's a save room, and you need this crank in order to open one of the doors, and I think I realized that as soon as I got out here that I forgot that crank. You don't have to deposit this gem right here. Usually if you go to the restaurant, you see it first, but, excuse me. If you go to the restaurant, you usually deposit both at the same time, but because there's no enemies spawned here yet, I just found it to be a bit easier to free up an item slot. That guy to the left of the gate actually holds some ammo, so I forgot to get that on this playthrough. So you can see there's a door farther up ahead. That one's locked and it only opens if you take the alternate choice here when Nemesis appears.
Hey,
Where am I?
relax. You're fine.
If you say so, but my head feels like it's about to explode. Anyway, name's Carlos. Glad to meet you, lady.
Jill, Alpha Team, RPD's STARS unit. Who do you represent?
Stars, I see. Well, I'm a member of the Biohazard Countermeasure Force sent by Umbrella Incorporated.
Sent by Umbrella?
Hey, don't look at me like that. What did I say? Do you have a problem?
Oh no. It's him!
So the two choices that you get, either in the kitchen or in the press, there's one of the options actually stuns Nemesis for a brief time and helps get a guaranteed Nemesis drop. At this point, I'm just kind of flailing around. I thought that the emerald would be here, but then I realized that it moves to a different location depending on where you are. And I kind of just get stuck here in a really bad situation. So what you want to do is ignore everything. You can ignore that gunpowder. It's not needed. And run past Nemesis while he is on the ground. I'm extremely fortunate that Carlos is just taking a whomping from him here, just for me to collect my bearings. I decided to just kind of run for it here. That's the window you jump out of if you get the alternate choice. I ended up picking the eagle parts here. I was debating whether I actually should maybe fight him once more to get the other drop, but I decided to just neglect him until the clock tower fight later on in the game.
need to ask you something. Why did Umbrella send your team here?
Our mission is to rescue the civilians.
How kind of you. Considering Umbrella caused all this in the first place, those liars!
Look, we're just mercenaries, hired hands. Do you really think the Master would tell his dogs why they have to retrieve the stick he just threw? No time for talking. If you can believe me, then join us. Think about it!
To reiterate, if you jump out the window in that choice, that's where you come out. So you can deposit the lighter. You don't need it until much later in the game. And what you want to do is actually now move towards the restaurant. Now, if you chose to go to the presses first, then this place is going to have a lot of zombies in it. What you want to do is use the lockpick to get the fire hook here, which will allow you to open up kind of the underground waterway underneath the restaurant to get the emerald. Use the fire hook and go underneath. So this passage is super narrow, and there's not really much you can do other than a quick dodge mechanic to get that gem that's down there. Do not follow my lead and always count your bullets. I end up doing a hard reload there, and that stuff gets super punished by Resident Evil if you do it at the wrong time. So now that you have both gems, oh man, I jumped out of my seat when that happened. He was so close. He spawns in 2 different locations. If you get both gems at the start, if you get both gems, the one in the restaurant, he'll spawn there. If not, and you go back towards this alleyway, he'll actually spawn right in front of you when you get to the safe room. And upon reflection, yeah, you'll see him come down the stairs right here. Upon reflection, if you actually, I think it's easier to go out the other way and have him kind of chase you through this way, because there's only one way to get back to the main gate here. And that's just, if he impedes your progress, you have to find some way to get around him or maneuver in that really tight, narrow, shoppy area. So I decided to go to the right here to just use the crank and get rid of it. You need to use the crank to open this fire shutter. However, the crank is going to break, and you're going to need to use the wrench, which you get at the cable car. You may have just spotted a red herb there. I completely missed that my first time I came through this area. It may be worth getting because there's 2 green herbs up ahead before the cable car, so you can combine it to get a full heal. So this area has a lot of zombies in it, and I usually recommend actually clearing a couple of them out because an additional one is going to spawn when you come back through this area the second time. I recommend saving at least one of those herbs for the last time you come back to this area. So this room is different in the sense that I was completely expecting dogs here. I'm used to dogs always spawning in this area, but there is an alternate spawning that can happen for these zombies, and I was trying to shoot the barrel, but the auto aim just got me really tripped up. This is one of those spots where auto aim is really not your friend. Those 5 zombies are coming straight at me, and that barrel would have really helped out. I'm actually trying to, you can kind of see, I'm trying to shoot the barrel, but the bullet is curving to the left just like in Wanted and going straight into that zombie. So what I end up doing is I think I down him and then try and just dodge these 2. Actually, upon reflection, I dodged these 2 very unsuccessfully. I'm just trying to get to that door. I recommend if you do get the zombies to turn off that auto aim and be able to hit both barrels. That would just make everything so much easier.
You're one of the survivors from the rescue team, right? I just ran into your teammate, Carlos.
How did a girl like you manage to survive?
Hey, I'm no ordinary civvy. I'm a member of STARS.
Stars? You mean the RPD Special Force Team?
Hey, is someone wounded back there? Oh, this looks bad.
They're coming. Get ready. Fire. Fire. Stay together.
Calm down. You're safe now. Everything is gonna be okay.
So Jill, did you decide to help us out? It looks like we're the only ones who survived. We should work together.
No, we can't trust her.
Why? But Sergeant, we need her help. Our unit's down to you, me, and Lieutenant Mikhail. That's it. And Mikhail's hurt bad. If we don't cooperate, we won't be walking away from this mission.
Fine. Then let's go over our plan. We're moving to the clock tower area, which is the designated landing zone for the extraction chopper. Once we get there and give the signal, the chopper will fly in and pull us out.
That's a lot of ground to cover. I don't think we can make it on foot.
The main problem we have is that the landing zone is cut off from here by the fire. So we have no choice but to use this cable car to navigate through it. Fortunately, we can also use it as a moving shield to get us through the worst areas.
That works for me. Good plan, sir.
Okay, people, let's get moving.
Jill, put this on.
So now you have 2 extra inventory slots. What you want to do is grab the wrench, and you're going to go back and start getting various aspects of the cable car to fix it. You're going to need to get fuel. You'll get a main fuel and then a fuel mixture. And then you'll be able to get a fuse, and you're going to need to get the jumper cables from that garage that we passed. At this point, I just didn't really know what to do. I saw that that lady was moving away, and I thought maybe I could just go down. But again, I just get caught in the absolute worst scenario here. Luckily, I was able to do just a frantic dodge by mashing the right trigger for me. And I'm like, oh, did I do this right? No, not at all. So this cable car backtracking sequence is kind of the second part of what I'd call the first third of the game, depending on how long it takes for you to play it. A speedrunner would have already completed the game by now, but we're taking our time, enjoying the ride. And note that the farthest you need to go back is to where that first save room was, near the fire where the dogs are. So you want to grab the gunpowder from within the car and then move a bit more straight so you don't get caught by that guy. I got lucky there. As the angle changed, I chose the correct path instead of running straight into him. I'm going to go straight to the gas station to get the oil. So it's important to keep your inventory slots open here because...
Jill! Hey, the zombies are getting restless.
I know. I can hear them. What's going on?
Because it's possible to have a lot of gunpowder here. BAC is the combination to get into the oil. I completely missed some gunpowder there.
What's wrong?
They're coming! They must have sniffed us out. They know we're here.
Hey, calm down.
Any objections to my playing hero this time?
What are you doing? Carlos!
I believe that first aid spray is always there. Grab it, you can never have enough healing items. So this puzzle is... I don't know how best to explain it. I just ended up just moving the dials until I got the correct combination. What you want to do is anything with a bracket over it, I think. What I read is what you want to solo on. So what I end up wanting to do is get the A. So the B that's highlighted up, you want to get the B soloed. And this usually just takes a combination. I'm just tending to brute force it. A's lit up, you want A again. course, I realized this after the fact as I'm watching this video, but basically what you want to do is just use the various combinations to solo the letter that's highlighted.
No!
Relax. I'm not dead yet.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. That hero stuff is harder than it looks. Ouch, my ears are ringing. We both should be deaf by now. Okay, I'm gonna scrounge up some equipment. There might not be any at our destination.
So as you pass this gate, a bunch of zombies are going to bust through. If you have the shotgun, it's possible to get a quadruple headshot on all those guys. What you actually end up needing to do is go into that area and pick up the book in order to get the battery to create the elevator in the construction place with the drain demos to go down to the power plant. And I felt pretty good with how the run was going thus far, just completely winging it. So I ended up saving here, and I'll see you guys in part 2. Thanks for watching.